Hi everyone, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant, and today I have a designer series project featuring the new Soiree Creative Cuts dies. These coordinate with the awesome cake and cake stand stamp set from a while back. And I've created this three-tiered cake here with an embossed greeting underneath and then the little cute flags sitting in the top of the cake. To create my card, I first am grabbing some green pigment ink, and this is an ink from Avery Elle. I chose to use this green instead since Mama Elephant didn't have the kind of lime green I wanted with the Mojito ink. It's a little bit more grass green, so I'm using the lemongrass ink from Avery Elle for that lime feel. And then I'm stamping a couple of the cake layers in the large size using the Mama Elephant Sunshine and Orangeade inks, and then I will stamp a couple of the smaller layers using the same inks. And I ended up only using three, it worked better size-wise with the index card dies, but I stamped and cut several of them at the same time. I can set those additional cake layers aside and use them for another project. Once I have all of my cake layers stamped, I can use the new coordinating Creative Cuts dies to cut these out really quickly and easily. I just love how easy the dies make creating cards so nice and professional with the nice cut lines, and makes it so much easier than fussy cutting. So I'll go ahead and cut out my additional layers, and once I have all of those ready to go, I can start decorating my cake. I did add some glossy accents to the cake stand to make it look more like a ceramic type cake stand. While that's drying, I did stamp the little image that has the two little sticks and then the little banner above it that fits on the top of the cake. And there's a coordinating die for this image as well. I'm going to take some Copic markers and color in those banners to match my cake. So I'm going to be using all greens, oranges, and yellows. Starting out with my lightest color and then blending in with a little bit darker. I'm only using about 2 colors per banner for the start, and then I decided as I finished the banners that they needed a little bit darker shadowing, so I'm going to go back in with a even darker color in the same color family when I'm all finished here. So you can see I went in with something even darker and then kind of blended that out. I like how it looks a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to see in person since these are such small little areas. It's kind of hard to tell, but I just really like the way that the darkest marker color really helped give some nice shadowing. And then on the green, I think I started with too dark of a base color, and so I did go in with a little bit lighter color to blend that out, which I think worked pretty nice. I did go around the whole image then with a very light minty blue, just to give it a little bit of color so it wasn't so stark white when I die cut it out. I don't know if it really ended up showing up all that much, but I liked how it looked here. Go ahead and position my die right over that, secure it with some Post-it tape, and then run it through my Big Shot machine. And you can see that pops right out so nicely and ready to decorate the top of my cake. To decorate my cake, I'm going to be using the confetti die from Mama Elephant, and I'm using the solid sequins there in the teeny tiniest round size and then the next size up. So I did die cut it several times, and then I keep those, anything extra, in some little storage containers so that I can use the confetti on other projects, because I did have to die cut it so many times to get enough of those small images to work for my cake. And I'm going to decorate both of the orange cake layers with those little sequin dots, and then the yellow cake layer I just tied some green organza really thin ribbon around it and secured it in a bow. Then I used a little matte medium behind the knot in the bow to secure that to my cake. And I glued all of those little sequin dots on with the zig glue pin. Now I cut out the stitched rectangle from the index card die collection from some smooth white cardstock and then the scallop from vellum. I'm going to be creating my own pattern paper for the background. I've done this before on another card using some different Mama Elephant stamps, and I didn't have a video with that one, so I thought I would go ahead and share this today because this is one of my favorite techniques for creating a background paper. And I'm simply changing up the color, and I started diagonally here. One of the things, it bothers me before I get the plaid going in the other direction, is I left a little bit too much space in between a couple of the stamped line images. But really, once I get those stamped the opposite diagonal way, you really don't see it as much, and it ends up not bothering me. So I didn't restamp it. It is quite a bit of work to clean off your stamp between each stamped image. So I really didn't want to have to start over, and I'm glad I didn't, because once I put the vellum over this, you won't even really notice it because the cake goes on top of the card, and you won't even see those little spaces. So I'm just going to keep alternating. I'm using the exact same 3 ink colors that I used for the cake and cake stand. And I loved seeing the plaid emerge as all of those stamped lines are stamped in place there on the background. This is the Basic Borders Mama Elephant stamp set, which I absolutely love. This is fun to use with the polka dots from this stamp set as well. So there's my vellum, and the vellum is just going to help mute that background enough that the cake really takes center stage and doesn't blend into the background. If I place the cake directly on that plaid background, I think it would really kind of get lost in the design of the paper, of the stamped pattern paper, I guess I should say. So I used a little powder tool to prep my area for stamping, and I used one of the stamp sets from the Soiree stamp set, or greetings from the Soiree stamp set, I should say. And then I'm sprinkling on some embossing powder. I used white and then some apricot embossing powder from American Crafts, and heat set that so that one of the words the word wish, would kind of pop off of the page there. And then I'm simply securing my cake layers. I kind of wanted them a little wonky, so I'm tilting them just a little bit and securing them to the vellum. Once I have the cake all in place with my adhesive, it'll be really easy to figure out where to place the adhesive behind those images to hide it so it doesn't show through the vellum. So I have all these in place, and I can take my tape runner and hide the adhesive behind the stamped greeting and the cake and cake stand so that I can secure that to the plaid background. So I'll just position that right in place. And then one last thing that I wanted to do for my card is I decided I liked that stitched border, but because you can't see it with all that plaid stamping, I'm taking a white pen and on top of the vellum just drawing my own stitching lines all the way around there on the front of the card. I'll use a little foam adhesive to pop up this piece on my card base, and my card is finished. I hope you've enjoyed this video showcasing the brand new Soiree Creative Cuts dies from Mama Elephant. For more information, please visit the Mama Elephant blog or my blog at the address listed at the end of this video. All of the supplies I used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Thanks for watching!